and we have access to the entire state of Georgia now. So if you live in Georgia, you can get a Roof Quote Pro from us, and an instant quote no matter where you live in Georgia. Still,
Goes
I've got
straight into that Proline account, straight into the speed to lead,
yep, you're gonna get
immediate
it.
engagement.
That's right. All those things are really good. Like if you want to get an instant estimate, you can do that. If you want to go, it's going to go right into Proline, so our team's going to know immediately, and there's also going to be automated text that's going to reach out to you. So it's just a really really great time. I'm very excited about it next year.
Is exciting stuff. So talking about off season stuff. So the big things that people tend to do in the off season is redo their website, rebrand, implement new software, right? I feel like that's the big three. There's lots of little things, right? But those are the big things. So you're doing the rebrand right now. Let me ask you this, like for not to go off on a tangent, but for someone that's evaluating whether or not they need to rebrand their business, is there a list of checklist you would recommend? It's like, hey, go through these things, because you were talking about rebranding for years,
Yeah,
at
yeah,
least 3 or 4 years, and
it's
so
not
it's
something. Yeah, don't take it lightly. Don't rush through it in a weekend. It is something you really need to think about. You need to make sure that in the medium term, short term is probably going to be detrimental to you because people are not going to know who you are, and the internet,
so
Google's not going
short
to.
run rebranding is probably going to have a negative impact on
Yes,
your business.
almost certainly. I mean, it's just the way humans are, the way Google is. You need to be thinking, okay, in 6 months or 8 months, is this going to be? Am I going to be in a better spot? And am I going to survive for those 6 or 8 months because no one's calling me and all that stuff? So it is a real. You need to think about it a lot. Like Kick Charge is great. Dan Antonelli is awesome. Most people cannot afford $30,000 to $50,000 to do a rebrand, and even that is not necessarily going to prevent you from having that 3 to 6 month pain period of the rebrand from people and Google. So you just need to know that up front. Like it's not going to just magically give you more business. It's probably going to actually hurt you for a little bit.
Yeah. That's what I've
So
seen when I've overseen SEO, the SEO transitions. Are you redoing the website again, or are you keeping the same website, just changing the branding?
So there's going to be some back end stuff. There's definitely some copy that's going to get changed. It's just a minor. It's about 10% of the cost, 20% of the cost of the website to
Yeah,
change. We're not gonna. I mean, it's a really great Hook Agency built the website. It's awesome. They're just going to go
did a great
through
job.
and make sure that it's everything's lining up from a human perspective and a Google perspective as well.
Tim totally did me dirty when he redid your site, because I did your first site. He was like comparing the two. I was
Yeah,
like,
well, that's what he does.
okay, all right. It was great when I made it. It got outdated. But yeah, regardless of that, I have to give it to Hook. They do a phenomenal job. Those sites are beautiful. And they do a great job of converting.
Yep.
But so would you say that you were grateful that you already have the site rebuilt and are now rebranding, or do you feel like it would have been possibly better to do that at the same time, like rebrand in the site at the same time? Do you think there's like a better or worse strategy there now, like it kind of in retrospect?
So it takes at least 100 days Hook, and most people it takes 100 to 120 days to build a website like Hook. Like this is not that this is all. It's a WordPress site, but they don't just use themes that WordPress has. They build each page, and they really go through an actual process with you. So if I was sitting in October, November during a season, technically it could be okay if you started in October to launch a brand new website to rebrand. But I'm very thankful that we have the website right now. Like I'm super thankful um that we have it all built out. the majority of the bones of it are there. We just need to change some of the appearance, some of the, like I said, some of the copy. And we'll continue to work on it. Like there's going to be some things that we add to it moving forward that are just going to be more complex. So I don't think there's necessarily a better or worse. I think you just got to have clear expectations that it's going to take 3 to 4 months to build a really good website that's really branded to you.
It seems to me that it would make the most sense though to, if you're not going to do them at the same time, which would be a lot, you should do the website first, like you did it.
Yeah,
because
breaking up the
otherwise
cost.
you're going to
It's
have to
also-
do a bunch of work
Yep.
on an old site, and then you're going to throw it all out.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, I think if your website's older than a couple of years, it's probably a good idea just to do a whole new website. I think just the way things
So
are
if
changing.
you're doing a rebrand and your site is more, we would put this on the record. If you're doing a rebrand and your site is more than 2 years old, 3 years old,
I'll say 3. I say 3. If it's
3
older than,
years old, just redo it.
I would think so. Because you built that site 5 years ago, 6 years ago, something like that, and it's like it was
6
like
or
way,
7. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, just the way okay, let's see that consumers expect excellence. All right, they expect excellence from websites. They've more than they've ever expected. I mean, we get constant comments from people like, "I'm so happy. I know, they just mentioned the website because it's a really, really strong website. But then also you've got to stay up to date with, I mean, we also pay for maintenance from Hook. Like they maintain our website and in the thousands of dollars a year, just so that all the plugins work, so that we're not losing traction on Google. Like the whole point is like so people find you, right? So you need to make sure that you're maintaining the website as well. Like it's a big deal.
Yeah, maintaining the site is important. I feel like I want to say something here though, because it is important to have someone that knows what they're doing. You pay them monthly and they manage the site and go on the site, make sure all the updates happen, go back and review how those updates have affected your site and make any fixes, because things just break. And they tend to break slower if you don't upgrade the site, but then or update the site, but then you're opening your site up for being hacked, and otherwise attacked, and it's gonna continuously slow down over time, and it's still gonna break regardless. So like you need to have that continual work. The problem is I see this a lot, because I see a lot of people's websites and we're hooking it up for Speed Delete, where they're paying an agency every month for $500, $700, $1,000 a month to do maintenance, and that agency is doing nothing. And that's really frustrating to see because it is so important. But because business owners don't know what to check for, they're being taken advantage of by consultants and agencies that just charge them a monthly fee and do nothing. Don't actually check on the site. Don't actually make updates. I logged into somebody's site a few months ago that they had been paying someone $750 for 3 years. That site had not been updated for 3 years. So they had been paying $750 a month for nothing, for no work. And that's really sad to see.